In just over a year, the Apple Watch has quickly become one of Apple's most popular products, but also one that people are a little hesitant about going and getting, because really, is it worth it? But even so, the rumors are still in the air about an upcoming Apple Watch 2 and whether it will have enough to make people just grab their wallets and get it. So whether you're on the fence about Apple's wearable or just generally interested, here's everything we think we know about the Apple Watch 2 so far. Now, if you were like me, you may have been a little shocked when you first saw the Apple Watch some time ago. It's square, and you may have really thought that it was going to be round, but at least this time with the Apple Watch 2, you can be prepared because it doesn't look like much is going to change. See, most Apple analysts believe 2016's Apple Watch will be deemed the S model, while a complete redesign isn't expected until 2017. So you can probably guess what that means for the design. A slightly slimmer profile and maybe a smaller bezel around the screen. In fact, reports out of South Korea state that it will stick to its rectangular screen sizes and will be practically identical to what we already have today. And so right off the bat, one of the major reasons you may have been interested in getting an Apple Watch 2 won't be there, because chances are people won't be able to tell that it's the new one just by glancing at your wrist. But there is still hope though, because according to 9to5Mac's Mark Gurman, Apple is looking to add the cool factor by adding a front-facing camera to the watch for FaceTime conversations. Now, the Samsung Galaxy Gear was the first smartwatch to have a camera, but see, this will make it the Apple Watch 2 or S the first of its kind to have one set up for video calls. So in all, you can pretty much picture this, maybe a little bit thinner and with a camera. So with not much of a major design change around the new Apple Watch, that means that there should be some pretty worthwhile features. And it seems like at the core of this is making a way to do more on the watch without needing your iPhone handy. And see, that's where a more dynamic wireless chip comes in, enabling features like heavier data transfer and improved location accuracy without relying solely on a Bluetooth connection. Reports even claim that this may come to the watch thanks to an LTE radio for internet connectivity without having to use your iPhone. Now, chances are with all of this extra content and work going on in your watch, that's probably going to kill your battery, huh? And what's interesting about that is that most believe Apple would value it as a valid trade-off, especially since most are already satisfied with the Apple Watch's current one-day battery life. Meaning that most don't expect the new watch to have that much of a bigger battery or even a bigger battery at all. And being that I can and have gone 2 days off of one charge with this thing, I've got to say I'm okay with that. Alright, so we got the features and we got the design, but what about the materials? And well, with all of these changes, it will be pretty interesting to see if the original Apple Watch will still see the time of day. I really didn't mean to put that pun in there, but it's too late to go back now. I mean, if Apple has done anything with the Apple Watch, they've given users options with the Sport, the regular Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch Edition. With the introduction of new materials like titanium, platinum, and more joining the list of options, this means even more choices to pick from different price points. As far as specs go, you gotta remember that this is rumored to be an S model, so that means a faster processor for speeding up app load times and speeding up the watch overall. And with more and more native Apple Watch apps joining the scene, this is pretty important, and the New York Times says this could be the difference between an S or a 2 being on the end of this new watch's name. And how much is this thing going to cost, and when can we expect to get our hands on it? Well, most believe that it'll have a price lineup similar to the original Apple Watch, so that means starting at around $349 and going anywhere past $1,000. With the introduction of new bands, new material options, and the 38 to 42mm sizes, alongside the new features and specs, how you choose to build your watch will ultimately decide your price. Now, we can expect for all of this to be announced alongside the iPhone 7 announcement, with release dates looming around the iPhone 7 release. So there you have it, an Apple Watch S or an Apple Watch 2. Take your pick. Basically, it's kind of like the same thing, but with a slimmer profile, a faster processor, some new materials, and maybe some new features like a camera for FaceTime and more. But those are just the rumors for now, and we'll just have to wait and see what actually happens when the time comes.